back, guys, to XGS Season 7, Day number 5 for our final game of tonight. It'll be Final Form versus Mormon Battalion, another Group A match. And both of these teams actually played a game earlier today, so this is a doubleheader for them coming into play day number 5, where actually Final Form lost their game, whereas Mormon Battalion won their game in regulation.
Ooh, so we'll see if Final Form will beat Mormon Battalion, then they can go 1-1 for today. That'd be interesting, but we'll see how it goes. Do you have any bias? Do you think any team is gonna win?
Oh, no, I think this is a pretty even matchup. Final Form did lose their game like pretty badly today. I know it was like 7-2 against Outlast Black, but to be fair to them, Outlast Black have had like a pretty rough couple of games to start the season off. They had to play Fluffy Aimers, they had to play SSG ACAT, and they also had to play Aerial Arise. No, it wasn't Aerial Arise. Yeah, it was Aerial Arise. They did have to play Aerial. No, it was Fluffy Aimers, Space Station Academy, and Makers. That's who I'm thinking of. And so Final Form had to play that game against Outlast Black, who have shown that they could be competitive against the top 3 teams in the Group A so far. And the Final Form, when they played their game today against Outlast Black, they kind of looked a little bit off form. They weren't really playing to their standards. They weren't playing strategically, and they were always just over-aggressing at times. Their roster is Evil Clouds, Ion, Sins, and Kobe and Volsper, and their attacking stats look really, really good. Their defensive stats, not so much.
Which is kind of interesting. Typically, defense is usually, I guess usually defense is kind of favored, but I guess not this time around. But an interesting roster of people. I think all of them are also quite familiar to everybody around here. So, not like it's gonna be a random team. All these players seem to be up to par and amazing. I want to see the other team, and oh wow, got a nice roster here too. It seems like everybody's pretty thing, but I'm looking at the stats. At least their defense is a little bit better than the others, but I'm not sure if it's nearly as leveled out.
No, it really isn't, because they've lost their 2 opening games. They did just win earlier today, like I said, so their defensive and their attacking stats should be a lot better, considering that they won in regulation against Team Sesh 7-4 on Cafe. But yeah, their roster is Exige, Exer, Cassia, Toaster, and Eli. And as you guys heard from Namical in the earlier pre-show, this consists of the Wanted Goons and Wanted Goons Academy roster merged together into one to form Mormon Battalion. So these are some pretty well notable players around the T3 sector, as well as even T2, with Exige playing with the Wanted Goons roster that famously sung that Backstreet Boys song to knock Kush out of like E2 like not even that long ago. That's just how memorable Exige is as a player. He's also just like a very nice guy. But looking into our map vetoes, Consulate and Cafe taken out first. Both of those, or Cafe being played 2 times today, back to back, and Border and Sky being taken out by Mormon Battalion. Labs is banned out last, which leaves up Bank as our decider. So we get Bank back to back yet again for the 2nd time this season.
Oh my god, I don't know if I'm too happy to see any more Bank after we just went a full 15 rounds of it. Oh my gosh, I guess today is the lucky day for Bank. You don't get to see it too often, so I guess this is gonna be our filth of Bank for probably the next little while, I'm sure. I don't know, I don't usually see anybody really playing this map, so I'm glad to see it yet again. Well, I mean, maybe I'll say I'm a little bit less than glad, but I'm not horribly disappointed. How about you, Mr. Chaka? How are your thoughts on seeing Bank one more time before we close out the night?
I mean, I love this map, so I'm always going to be excited to see it. I have like a lot of maps that I actually like in the map pool. Like Bank is one of them. I really like seeing Bank over and over again. I like Chalet, I like Labs. I even like Consulate, despite how defender-sided Consulate can be. But I still really like the map just because of how interesting it can be for defender strategies. I mean, now let's look into the operator bands. And it's going to be Mormon Battalion to start us off first with the attacking band. Of course, last time we saw Bank, Monty was banned out first. It's going to be the same case here.
Let's see. I believe Dokkaebi was the next one off the board, which I'm gonna say is probably gonna be quite lucky as well. I think we're gonna see a Dokkaebi. I feel like Okay, I think last time you said the Ying typically gets banned at least more on this map, but so she will get taken off. And as for defense, I do think that a Valk and a Mira gonna be off. No, the Kaid. Okay, interesting, interesting, interesting. Let's see the final one. What do you think? What do you think will be the final defensive op off?
Probably Valkyrie, I'm thinking. Nope, Asami.
Asami.
Okay, I mean, I kind of like this band. She's very good for extending up top when you're playing the basement area. If you want to play more in open area, you can use the zombie to waste a lot of time in and around that first floor. You can also use her. She's very powerful alongside a castle on the second floor specifically, and you have to bring a lot of utility to deal with both of them at the same time. So you just take her off of the board completely. Nobody really ever bans a castle. And really, the only thing you'll bring against the castle is maybe even either a Zofia or a Flores, both of which are open on the attacking side.
So it seems like Nomir's will be played down here. Instead, a Tubarão will be subbed in, I guess, instead of the Kaid. Of course, Kaid's off the board, so Tubarão will be the next best thing to kind of slow down any sort of hatch opening or just wall denial in general. And a Clash. This is interesting. I feel like Clash gets picked. It's kind of like, you know, if they do get picked, I feel like the players are just absolutely amazing. If a Clash ends up getting picked, or even just a Monty, I feel like the operators or the players just end up dominating. So we'll see if XGS is going to be able to get jiggy on the Clash. But like I said, no mirrors. It's going to be interesting. But as for the attacking lineup, seems quite linear despite no other hard breach except for the hard breach charges that Grim will bring.
Starting shock drone.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what type of take they're going to go for, because with limited hard breach means that like you're with, because they only have two, they're only going to be able to get like 2 hatches. They won't be able to get the default wall open. So I wonder if it's going to be more of a front-sided take, and maybe you send somebody towards the server area instead. But it looks like for Final Form, they will try and clear some of the players around the first floor. Originally, XGS was up there with the Clash Shield, and that was really about it. And so nobody's really sitting around this first floor apart from Xer, who's now rotated up the marble stairs, and it looks like he wants to go through beepers over towards the open area site to kind of blindside Final Form as they try and make their entry work inside the map. Ions is already the first one in, and he does have a drone in ahead of him. Or is that Kobe? That was Kobe.
Planting toxins.
See how well this goes out. Definitely not as fast as the previous game. Seems like Final Form are going to be taking their time a little bit, but Capitan already establishing a little bit of movement over by the marble stairs, because he's waiting for his little friend, Miss Dogamy. And it seems like, I thought there was somebody by me, but it seems like that won't be the case anyways. Instead, basically all all this main floor is going to be theirs for the taking. We'll see if they're going to be able to utilize that control. They have that top control, but for how long, we'll see, and if they're able to make good use of it.
Already using the can openers to open up the hatches, and they have the more hard breach charges available to them. I wonder if they use the second hard breach charge in order to open up the lobby hatch, because now it seems like they are angling for a server execute. Instead, a lot of the players set up by square. Nobody set up over by the lobby side, and they have some utility to run into the smoke grenades. You also have nitro cells, but most importantly, you don't really have a hard breach to open up that default wall in towards the server site, so they're gonna have to run through the doorway instead.
Yeah, this seems a little bit odd, I'm not gonna lie, why they wouldn't bring a hard breach. I mean, it just makes life a little bit easier, and I'm sure that they could have figured out an operator that didn't necessarily need over having a hard breach, but maybe they don't need one after all. It is still gonna be a 5v5, almost nobody has taken damage, and there's just about 40 seconds remaining, but MORMON battalions seem to be sitting quite pretty, considering that time is just gonna be ticking and the attackers aren't gonna be doing much. Thatcher's gonna take a heaping amount of damage, and that's gonna be unfortunate, but he isn't out just yet. However, this Grim needs to be extremely careful. He's going to be put in a bad position. The Clash is just going to be able to push him back further and further and further, it seems like. He's going to be on top of this hatch, waiting for an opportunity to strike. But, I mean, 10 seconds on the board. What much of an opportunity do you have? However, it seems like Evil Clouds is just the GOAT, because no matter the opportunity, he's going to take down 2. Kobe to take down 1. And are you serious? Did this seriously just happen? I mean, Flaws to take down 2, but, I mean, are you kidding me? What just happened? Final Form looking like they're just about to just have this timer dwindle out and to make absolutely no waves come into sight like they own the building. They just bought it off. I mean, oh my God, the numbers don't lie. That was That was ridiculous. The numbers don't lie, and that spells disaster. Already the first round. What a play Final Form has just made, may I say.
Attackers
Yeah,
need to
and
locate and
really
defuse
that
the
was
bomb.
won by Evil Cloud just going in through Garage and cutting off once he got the control over my Garage, cutting off any rotations between site via the red hallway just by playing in that specific position. There was no information from Mormon Battalion on that Garage push, and it seemed like everybody who died, or the two people who died to Cloud, were very blindsided by the person by them taking Garage so quickly. And also, like, another funny thing about it is that they had like two more smoke grenades. Thatcher had the diffuser, and he was like on 3 HP that whole entire round, and Mormon Battalion just couldn't really find a way around that. So, yeah, really nice execute for Final Form, based off of some individual wonders from Evil Clouds taking Garage by themselves.
Individual wonders is beautiful. That was great. I kind of want to steal that now. But after that shambolic defense downstairs, it seems like we're just going to opt to go open because I'm not sure. I think Mormon Battalion got to figure out what they're going to do because that was a little bit odd. But anyways, it doesn't seem like there's going to be much roam presence upstairs. At least seems like a lot of the people are just going to be kind of extending over by the main floor. Quite a heavy extension, if I do say so myself. But other than that, it seems like the top floor is going to be for the taking of the boys on Final Form. We'll see how long that will last. Already a lot has been established with just 45 seconds in the round.
Got some control around this second floor as well. The only player up here, and for the Warden, is now dead, so they have nobody upstairs at all. He swings towards the correct hallway, but like there's also another player right next to him. Both for finds a follow-up here for Final Form, and they have this top floor control in their favor, while also dealing with not only the Warden upstairs, but also a siege on the Clash.
Oh yeah, this is a little bit crazy. Luckily, the score is going to be equalized out. Flaws is going to find himself two, but we'll get quickly refragged by Evil Clouds. We're at a 2v2 equal playing field, and it seems like somebody's going to get cheeky on that. Well, we'll see how long that's going to last, as well as Mr. Kobe. The hatch is going to be opened, I believe, so hopefully we'll see something happen with that. But Toaster watching it diligently like a hawk. As for Mr. Eli, seems like he's going to be ratting over by Square, hoping to catch anybody off guard. But I'm sure Kobe is aware of it, as there are going to be pings that are going to be coming out. He is tucked over by this corner. I need to see his POV. Kobe to take down Eli, and it's going to be a 2v1 now. Toaster left alone. There is still a minute remaining. There is a bit of time on the board, and this does seem winnable. Is it going to be a 3-2-1 swing? Ions comes in, taking down Toaster, and with that, round 2, Final Form looking absolutely great. 2-0.
Already see kind of like an issue appearing for Mormon Battalion so early on in the game is the fact that some players just like really isolated, not playing off of each other too well, especially on that extension upstairs where the Warden was by himself. He was getting effectively pinched out by like two people, and he never even got like a single kill throughout that whole entire round. You also have the Clash just going up by themselves again, trying to flank up Marble, I believe. And he dies too because he's very much isolated and he has nobody to watch his back for him. And even though Mormon Battalion do a very good job of fighting back inside of that round, Final Form did a much better job of playing together and playing for the trades as well, further putting Mormon Battalion at a deficit out that whole entire round. Now moving on to round number 3, Mormon Battalion pick into this basement site, and they want to try and sit here and waste a lot of time for Mormon Battalion, look to limit their entry options like they did in the last round. Or well, they didn't even do that in the last round. Final Form did that in the last round because they didn't bring any more hard breach. Now they have more hard breach this round too. So Mormon Battalion have just a lot of things to ensure that the late round just goes a little bit more smoothly than it did in the first round.
I think both teams have a couple more things that they've improved on, that they've adapted to, that being Amira and Agoyo on the defense. The first time they defended down here, we didn't see either of them, so this is good to be seeing them now. A lot more of a linear, very common defensive setup, especially for the basement. Same thing for Final Form. They're going to be bringing the Hibana, so he'll definitely be able to get every single hatch that they need opened up, or even if they don't need them opened up, they can just open up at their leisure. So definitely both teams adapting, making sure that, you know, at least if they win, they brought the right operators to do so, because I feel like Final Form winning that first round was an absolute fluke. we are going to see Flaws playing over by that server area, but for however how long we will see, as it doesn't seem like anybody's going to be pushing dirt or square at all. At least for the time being.
Already have somebody upstairs by themselves, and again, it's Kobe to just make this solo entry too. And that's one thing MORMON Battalion haven't really done a good job of like stopping is players who are entering by themselves with only a drone ahead of them, and they haven't really put themselves in aggressive positions to like further like stop Final Form from continuing the role that they've been successful on when it comes to just getting aggressive and finding picks. Instead, they've been playing very far back, and they've been trying to go for anchor heavy play styles, or if they are playing by them, or if they are playing further up, they're playing by themselves most of the time. This time, anchor heavy setup, nobody on the first and second floor. Final Form get very good control around this area, and they already start to get the hatches open as well. So next is going to be dealing with some of these on-site utility, the mirror windows, and the Goyo canisters as well.
Yes, hopefully MORMON Battalion will be able to hold this out, but Final Form do have to deal with that bit of utility like you mentioned. Of course, we saw this previously when we were casting Bank. You know, there was a lot established for the attackers, but not a lot of utility clearing. As you see this, of course, the hard breach charges are going to be utilized, and the Goyo canister one is already going to be down. It seems like Final Form are going to be looking to maybe perhaps get a cheeky Lico plant off over by CC. We'll see if that will be able to last, though. I'm curious. Hibana is going to be open. I'm assuming she's going to be playing the hatches. We'll see. It's exactly where she and Dokubi are going to be. With that, the first kill is going to be onto Toaster at the hands of Ion's. Flashes are coming in, and I mean, not a lot of time where Battalion are going to be at the disadvantage, but I mean, it is still very winnable, especially if they do let time.
Happens to be Smoke as well, playing inside of the red hallway. Smoke stays on in about 20 seconds left. Final Form
with the
now have a
warden
good
at hand,
opportunity to go for
he's
the
going to be able to
execute
see
after
anything and everything.
Go out and a back push unsuccessful for now from Ion, so it's going to be all of
4v4 is what we're looking at, but Final Form finally not in their fullest form of 1v3. Mr. Kobe's going to have to clutch it out.
They haven't gotten the
too much
fuser down.
Siege.
MORMON Battalion knocked down the diffuser and find 3 in the process. That's at least around 4 MORMON Battalion to find inside of this map of Bank.
Chaka.
Yeah. Hello.
My God, I don't know why it ends up making me leave and come back. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully for good. But yeah, MORMON Battalion played that great. I mean, XGS with the 3-piece on that Vector. Oh my God, let him cook. Beautifully done. And so gonna be going upstairs. I like this. I like this. We're gonna see the Val. We didn't get to see her at all last game because she was banned. So let's see how powerful she really is.
She'll be quite good, especially if Final Form don't really have a counter to her. That'll give a lot of information over to MORMON Battalion. And as it stands with the attacking lineup here for Final Form, nobody's picking into an IQ. And, or well, not until now. Okay, he 6 picks back onto the glass. Fine, sure. But, you know, they don't really have anything to counter MORMON Battalion's Valkyries. So these Valkyrie cameras are going to be ever so influential in ensuring that MORMON Battalion have good info on whatever Final Form is doing around the map.
Let's see how well this bodes for them. Final Form, like I said, no IQ, so see if these Valcams are going to be a thorn in their side. However, there is only going to be one C4, but then again, I mean, the Valcam isn't just used for a C4. You can get a little bit of intel on where the attackers are going to be as well. I'm sure the C4 will definitely be a bit of help, but regardless, we are going to see, of course, the Glass, very typical bringing up here, and the Dokubi. I want to see all these window repels, and I want to see them now. But as for the roam game, seems like not too crazy. Seems like most people are going to be holding it from above, a little bit of an extension. But other than that, seems very passive, I should say.
Eli down below alongside Exige playing inside of Archives, whereas Eli is playing inside of the open area. And already it seems like they've sent in some Selma charges, not towards the janitor wall. I'm not too sure where those are at, but it is going to be opening up a new angle. Probably one of the castle barricades has been destroyed, so that makes playing in the middle of meeting, especially since you do not have the Azami available to the defense, that much more difficult, which means these window players are going to have so much influence in this round because they've already dealt with these zombie barriers. Now the janitor wall has been dealt with, and it seems like that they want to send the blitz over either by square, which is, yeah, by square, even towards stock, and I think stock is probably the better choice because there's less angles to look at when you're just going through that hallway.
And there goes the C4 to take down one, but we'll get quickly refragged after, as well as Evil Cloud's gonna get taken down. Final Form are gonna be on the back foot. Kills are coming out from either side, but Final Form still gonna be one man down. Are we about to make it two? We'll see. Sends in a bit of a bad position. The Malusi is gonna slow him down and make everybody aware of where he's at, as he has made his way into sight, but he will not have a hold of Bomb. As for Vulture, he's gonna be in the hallway, but he's not gonna be able to do much for him. A 1v2. Can he win out this round? He's gonna be swinging. There's gonna be somebody by a long desk. It seems a flash, but he might just try and swing him from the back. 40 seconds, still a lot of time to figure out what you want to do, but unfortunately, it seems like they might just be holding a little bit of a cross. At least if one comes out, then the other one can swing, and unfortunately, there we go. There's the double swing to see it. Both shots coming in almost like an X. They're shooting at the exact same time, and MORMON Battalion looking a little bit sturdier after those first two rounds.
Final Form try to go for a pocket strategy over by square with the blitz, but even though they dealt with the janitor player pretty effectively down below using the Dokkaebi, I believe it was. I'm pretty sure that was the Dokkaebi down below killing the janitor player. Anyways, regardless of that, Blitz just kind of like sent it in by himself and like died. So that was like the win condition as well for Final Form. It was to like try and send the Blitz against some space, cause some chaos, and then enable the rest of Final Form to get the kills. Once he died, then Final Form just had no other backup plan other than that, and MORMON Battalion stood strong in the end round, holding crossfires at any entry point that Final Form tried to go through. And so now it seems like the jig is up. Final Form, when they've tried to go for these aggressive plays, they've been very isolated. In the last two rounds, MORMON Battalion has read into a lot of the late round aggressive plays that Final Form have been trying to do to win the round in the last few minutes. Or in like a couple of seconds.
Did you just say the jig is up?
No?
Oh my god, I love that. The jig is up. Oh my gosh, I love that. I want to start. I feel like you're just like opening up my eyes to all these new words, or opening up my ears to all these new words that I can say. The jig is up. I'm gonna start saying that from now on. That's gonna be something that I'm gonna use. So thank you, Chaka, for teaching me that. But let's see, we're gonna be tied out the score, Final Form. We're at a 2-0 advantage, but MORMON Battalion come back stronger than ever, equalizing it out. We'll see who's going to break this streak as Final Form finally gonna win out the round. Or is MORMON Battalion gonna go on a 3-round win streak? See, the Sens isn't something that you get to see too often, so I'm surprised to see her get brought, or him. Is it? I think it's the girl, but anyways. We'll see how well she's gonna be utilized, as I don't often get to see her.
Is that us? Him. But yeah, it looks like as well, you can use the Sims for a couple of things for open area and staff room. Specifically like around like square, or even on this window that Vosper is staying on. But you may want to use the window instead to just try and cut off the site. That's a nice shot though from Xer to get the very first pick onto the buck of Vosper, who would otherwise be very, very useful for an upstairs play, but it doesn't look like Final Form want to try and take upstairs. Instead, they look to go for a more horizontally heavy setup. Ions finds a trade with the push coming in from lobby ATM specifically, where Cloud is going to try and go for a back push while everyone from MORMON Battalion is distracted by what's going on towards the back alley area.
Buck is a great kill to get as well. That's going to be a bit of the verticality presence gone. With that, Ion's gonna take down a two. He better be careful though. Mr. Eli is right there on the prowl, but damn. Fortunately, he's gonna get refried. We'll find another one, and with that, we're gonna be at a 1v3 Toaster versus 3 very scary operators. It will not last long. The FMG will ring in his ear quite loud, and Toaster gets taken down. The boys on Final Form will finally win out that round after losing 2 in a row.
It didn't look like Final Form actually like entered the site whatsoever, or even had a chance to, because MORMON Battalion were just like swinging them at any given opportunity, like from just inside of the site. All of the kills from the players positioned that happened for Final Form. The players were positioned in like square, like nowhere, like right next to site, yes, but like not even in it at all. And so Mormon Battalion paid for that over aggression by just losing the round outright and losing every single one of their gunfights. And like against any other team, maybe playing aggressive like that would work, but for Final Form, not really, because what they've been very consistent in throughout this whole game is just like winning their gunfights. Evil Clouds is 6-4, Ions is 5-4, Wolfspur is 4-4, Sins is 3-3. A lot of the players here for Final Form are very much positive or just breaking even, so you can't really do those aggressive plays against Mormon Battalion, and Final Form just showed them exactly why in that previous round.
They're able to win their ones or be able to get the refrags out, which are important. You get taken down, but you get taken down, take somebody out with you at least, or at least avenge your teammate. Final Form quite good at getting their refrags out. Mormon Battalion not too shabby as well, but I mean, it just seems like Final Form had the upper advantage, or the edge on them that round. We'll see, though, a cap can is something that we're seeing for the first time, I believe, as well this entire day, which is going to be interesting. Still pretty much the exact same defensive lineup, but the cap can should make things interesting. If the boys on Final Form aren't careful, they might just get caught in a cheeky trap, the invisible sixth man.
Again, I mean, that's going to slow down the entry game here for Mormon Battalion, but or for Final Form rather, because they haven't really brought anything to like get a lot of info on any of the setup here for Mormon Battalion, like no IQ, so the captain traps are probably going to go unnoticed. But the one thing that Final Form have been very consistent at, even though players have entry by themselves, is they've been droning up ahead for them, and because of that, Kobe finds the very first pick in this round, because again, he's being droned in, and he has a lot of info ahead of him, thus having an advantage in these gunfights. He's going to win it, and it happens to be on one of the players around the first floor round.
These guys practically like setting up sight already a minute and a half into the round. I saw another mirror get placed, and we're just seeing a wall get reinforced. These guys are ready for the late game. I guess they were just kind of deciding what they wanted to do depending on how the attackers were going to push them through. But it's a little bit... Battalion will be on the back foot. We'll see how long they will be at the disadvantage. There's just about a minute remaining in the round, and Final Form still with one man.
We also have Exige who's still upstairs. He rotated all the way from the top floor, now going towards the elevator hallway. But it's his position unknown to Final Form right now, and I think it's very smart that he doesn't act now and he waits until the last few seconds. When Final Form starts to get comfortable and they go for this execute, he's gonna be hurting them from the back just because he has that unknown factor to him. Even if Final Form are gonna like clear all of the utility on site and waste all of the smoke grenades, you still have a flanker upstairs.
They're gonna need to be careful with him. He is gonna be coming in from the back, and unfortunately the C4 will leave Hibana at exactly 1 HP. You cannot make it up. A 4v4 as Exige makes it a 3v4. Oh my god, the flank from hell. Hibana is going to be still at 1. Unfortunately, if she even steps too close to those smoke canisters, she's gonna be dead. Eli taken down, and Exige still gonna be on a little bit of a flank. Coming down blue, you better be careful, and I don't think Hibana is none the wiser. He is gonna let his presence be known, not only on that drone, but of course he's gonna shoot it. But Hibana being so low, that's not gonna be doing too much. A 2v3 with 14 seconds now. All they need to hold on is for just 3 more seconds. Can they do it? Oh my god, they got it off. They just got it off. Mormon Battalion, right? They got it with not even half a second remaining on the board. Oh my god. Shots coming out. They couldn't hold on for just that tad bit longer. So Mormon Battalion. And again, we see this, that 3-3 split on Bank like we did last game. Maybe it's more common than we think.
Yeah, 3-3 split is really, really good, especially if you're now going over to your attack. And for Mormon Battalion, that's really good for you because, again, like I mentioned, Bank usually tends to be a lot more attacker-sided, but today it's been like a completely different story. It's been really back and forth. Usually basement is like considered the best site for Bank. So far, it hasn't really been a comfortable site for the defense. and it kind of feels like it's been like really good for the attackers at times. It's been a really weird game, a day of fake so far, if I can say that. But like even then in that last round, you know what, I'll be completely honest, I was very concerned at XGS with the way that he was like kind of like tiptoeing back and forth between flanking down blue or wanting to flank upstairs.
10 seconds.
I originally thought that was going to be like a huge issue. What the heck? I thought that was going to be a really big issue for Mormon Battalion because he couldn't really make a decision on where to flank from. What? What?
I think HUD wanted to see how things were going. Oh, that's so funny. I'm sure he wants to get a little bit of information. He wants to know what these boys are going to be strategizing when they're playing on bank as well. But yet again, Final Form not opting for the Mira. It seems. Oh, okay. Wait. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of people joining in on all the fun. I'm sure that they're enjoying it as well. But again, no Mira going in for the basement. It seems like it's not that uncommon to not bring a Mira and just to opt for somebody else. It seems like the Vigil will be his or her replacement, I should say. And so we're approaching about 2 minutes remaining in the round, and not a single smidge of HP has gone off. Dokumi, the whole ring,
Oh my god.
in everybody's ear. The boys on defense, Final Form, better be careful unless they want to get caught with their pants down.
Oh, and he also has somebody flanking in from lobby, and that was Eli on the Dokkaebi, looking to now go down marble stairs. So my mistake, not the elevator hallway, but instead going through the soda hallway, and is now going down the marble stairs in order to try and provide more pressure onto this first floor against this extension upstairs. But with that Final Form, because well, now that he's down, they're going to look to try and just retreat back to site and play more into their execute utility that they can use against the tech. The Goyos, the Echo, and the Smoke that they have still here in the lineup, but they've also opened up these hatches, meaning that they've done half of the work here for Mormon Battalion.
See how this bodes for them. Final Form are going to be at the man disadvantage, but time continues to tick. We'll see if it will tick in their favor, if they're just going to get picked off one by one. Of course, seems like we're going to be establishing over by this square-ish area, but they better be careful because it seems like 2 people are going to be watching it as well. Not just having an Echo being very cheeky, but a Smoke as well playing inside of server itself. So I'm sure that if they push through there, it's not going to be too pleasant. Eli's going to take down Mr. Sens, though, making it a 3v3. There's going to be the Goy off the board. Luckily, all of his canisters are already placed, but I mean, that's still one less man that you're going to be able to work with. Eli, though, is going to be extremely low. Maybe they're deciding blue isn't the wave, and of course, Ions knows somebody is on top of this hatch. He's just waiting for a good opportunity, trying to be cheeky, and a 3v4 turns to a 2v4, but Kobe gets out another pick for the boys on Final Form. It is still going to be a man disadvantage, and him holding down this server room might just be the best thing for them. Hibana does have the bomb. We'll see if she's going to be able to plant it, considering that, of course, somebody is going to be holding in from server, and unfortunately is going to get taken in from above, and damn! The hold was almost absolutely perfect and beautiful. We ended up equalizing out the score 2-2, but I mean, still, Mormon Battalion. I'm gonna call him MB. I feel like it's so hard for me to say Mormon Battalion, but MB will win out
saying it
their
right.
offensive. I always feel like I'm like nearly stuttering when I say it. Mormon Battalion. I think that's decent. But anyways, MB Mormon Battalion. They win out their first offensive round, and it was close, but they still ended up winning it, and beautifully so.
Yeah, and to be honest, because of the way that like Final Form set themselves up in that whole round, all of the hatches open, full first floor control. They've also they didn't lose the Smoke early. I don't remember when they lost the Smoke, actually. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But I know they they lost 2 bodies earlier on. Vigil died first, and because they did a lot of the work there for Mormon Battalion by opening up the hatches themselves. I guess they just felt the need to get aggressive at points, peek up the hatches, try and do anything that they needed to do to disrupt Mormon Battalion getting to site. But by doing that, they just kind of gave them free picks, because when you're picking up from a hatch, it's automatically a very hard gunfight to win. And Final Form certainly do have the gunners to win those gunfights, but not in that round they didn't. And Mormon Battalion win it because because Final Form again get really over aggressive. And this is something that they struggled with in their 7-2 loss against Outlast Black, where they just struggled to like play more into like the strategic side of Siege, and they instead just got like too over aggressive and gave free gunfights to Outlast Black, who also have good gunners on their team.
I wish I could say much about that, but I wasn't there to see that game. But let's see if Final Form. I wonder if they're gonna go back downstairs. The hold wasn't horrible, especially that server hold from that smoke. That was absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, it just didn't end up going their way. I'm wondering if they're gonna end up going back downstairs, or if they're just gonna opt to go somewhere completely new. Of course, that was their first round on defense after the swap. So, you know, maybe we're allowed to be a little bit wobbly. We're allowed to miss a couple rounds. We'll see if MB are going to be just as strong as they were as the next round comes up. Of course, still in a pause, but I'm excited. This round seems to be quite close, seems to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's never really a true, like, winner of the round, because it seemed like MORMON Battalion was going to win that out, and then Final Form did make it quite close. So it seems like you're always kind of on your toes. I guess for us and the viewers and the players as well, everybody's always kind of thinking, oh my god, this can go any way and every way possible. At least if you have the advantage at the beginning, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win it out. And I always feel like when I'm watching at least these two teams, even the previous game, was very, oh my god, they have an advantage, but will it last? Will they be able to hold it out?
Because again, MORMON Battalion don't really have the composure to just like sit still at times, even though when it really fits them. And so that could benefit MORMON Battalion, especially because, again, they have like some really good players on their team who have really good experience at a T2 level, like your Xer, XGS, and then they have like 3 other young players who have played for the Wanted Goons Academy. I know Eli and Toaster did for sure. I'm not too sure about Flaws, who they're kind of like bringing up in this really aggressive gooning playstyle that the Wanted Goons did when they were still a roster. So you do have some composure on the side of MORMON Battalion, but for Final Form, they need to kind of practice that themselves and try to like look to play more around their utility and off of their utility and information as well.
5 seconds to
I
go.
like the aggro though. I always enjoy seeing how
Attackers are
fast-paced it is. I'm more like that, but then again, it's always interesting too, having everybody play slow and just everything happening down in the last like 10 seconds. But I feel like the 10 second meta is just not really a thing anymore. It happens once, you know, a couple of times, but other than that, I don't think it's as prevalent. But here we go, talking about that fast gameplay. Xer is gonna take down Evil Clouds. Already a 4v5. Xer taking a substantial amount of damage, but not enough to bring him down. And they also do have a Finka, so in case he does want an extra stim, well, I mean, he could definitely get a little bit of that health boost if he needs.
So he just jumped out the window? Like, why? I don't really know. I couldn't see it, especially if we heard Xer get up on Repel. Either way, that's already a first kill in favor of Final Form. That is the castle. Not going to really affect much in terms of utility because the castle barricades are already placed. But still, you don't want to be losing a body on the second floor, especially when these window angles can be so powerful against you, and you need everybody that you can get when you're playing the second floor site. Oh my god, what? Alright.
Oh my god! They just let Xer hit him off with that repel, and it seems like Spiral Stairs might be the wave. Of course, having this Zafia over on repel. And as I say that, Mr. Eli, who I believe was around the spiral kind of main lobby area, will get taken down anyways, but there is also going to be somebody else trying to be cheeky as well. It is going to be none other than Miss IQ, Mr. Flaws. We playing, hoping for another pick. Final Form will, of course, find one, kind of making the score a little bit closer, but still going to be at a disadvantage for the time being as we approach just about a minute remaining.
The players on the Final Form starting to sweat just a little bit. Everybody, at least on the site for now, the only player who's getting slightly aggressive at the moment, other than Sins playing on the other side of the map, is Whisper playing over by Square Stairs, or over by Square. That doesn't really seem like Toaster knows about this exact position. They haven't droned this out as effectively, and it's getting into the final few seconds, or the final 50 seconds, where MORMON Battalion might start to look a little bit desperate And if they don't have the info on where the last 3 players are, especially once Final Form try to get a little bit aggressive, they may suffer as a result of that.
Oh, as they see, it's going to be 30 seconds remaining, and damn, XGS to take down Mr. Senza 2v4. Turns to a 1v4, and it doesn't last long. MB close out their second offensive round, and again, it just doesn't seem like it's that close. Unfortunately, Final Form 2 times it's been a 2v4. It was a little bit closer the first time around, but this time around it just wasn't at all. And so, MORMON Battalion put themselves one step closer to match point. Final Form need to figure their stuff out as they go down back to basement.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
And
bombs as they can.
honestly, early aggression for Final Form just got shut down, and then when you're put in a 5v3, MORMON Battalion, even though they lose 1 player, they still have 4 others. One of them pushing in from lobby side, the other pushing in from square, and you also have your window players in. So even if you do still have the Warden playing inside of Janitor, even if you have anybody else playing in Janitor, because MORMON Battalion didn't really use any utility on the window swing ins, you're getting pressured from square. You kind of have to watch your back at the same moment that the repel is going in for it. So that was like a really nice attack, punishing the early aggression, but then also just taking the time to figure things out before they went for that execute. And now it's time to go and attack basement. MORMON Battalion have a chance to put themselves on match point, with Final Form still trying to grasp at straws and see if they can find a round back to put things back together.
And unfortunately, the last time they went down here, they ended up losing it out. It was a 4v2, and then it ended up being a 2v2, but it didn't matter at that point. So we'll see Ion's gonna get a little bit aggro, taking down Mr. Flaws with that MPX. And so Final Form at the advantage. Of course, it's very early on in the round. That's also gonna be the Grim, which is gonna be an amazing operator to take off the board early on. Being able to definitely help you out, being able to, gonna help out Final Form, as you know, they're not gonna be able to get pushed into certain corners as a Grim would be able to do if he was alive with his bees. And so, about 2 minutes remaining. Seems like a pre-play C4 is gonna be there, and the attackers do know about it.
Apparently that was a lucky spray to kill Flaws as well. And you know what? Is at the cost of like some big utility. That's not like just any operator. That's the Grim that can help you lock down positions such as the hallway. It can help you get control of servers as really easily as well to zone that player out, especially because Final Form have fully put a player inside of servers while also having somebody on a blue stair. So losing the Grim is is a huge deal in this round for MORMON Battalion, because they don't really have any utility to burn or even to zone out any of these defenders apart from like a couple of flash grenades, but there's a Warden on the board playing blue stairs.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit upsetting for MB, I'm sure about it. Still a 5v4, nobody has really made any other contact apart from that first kill. And so as we approach just about a minute remaining, it seems like we're going to start getting hatches open and figuring out where they want to push in from. Of course, Val's going to be sitting pretty over by elevators, hoping to catch anybody off guard.
Honestly, seems like MORMON Battalion are just trying to like test the waters here. They're getting rid of some utility. They haven't really cleared any of the important players out of important positions. Rosebread has completely backed off. He's just gonna try and play the long angles, maybe watch for the hatch drop down the red area. But you still have Kobe, who's playing inside of the blue stairs area. This garage angle though might work because there's nobody actively watching it here for Final Form.
Yeah, Eli might just be sneaky. Oh my god, I was gonna say he just gets away with the skin of his teeth, but never mind. It seems like Sam's gonna get taken down, unfortunately. And it wasn't even gonna be Eli to take him down, it was gonna be somebody else. I guess they pinched him out or something, but as we are gonna have a little bit of this vault hold, 2 goals are gonna be coming out in favor of the boys on Final Form. Make it 3, Bolster with 2, and the swing out comes Exer. Take him down 1, a 1v3. Make it a 1v2, perhaps? No, Ions. Well, unfortunately, headshot him, and with that, closing out the round, finally they will win a defensive round. Final Form are looking a little bit better after these last 2 defensive rounds.
That time they just played a lot more passively, playing inside of effective power positions to hold crossfires on the late entry that MORMON Battalion were trying to make towards the lobby area through the hatches and the lobby hatch
Attackers
and
need to
the
locate
elevator
and defuse as
hatch
many
is
bombs as
2,
they
while
can.
also locking down the garage player that was trying to make a late entry in. Final Form weren't originally watching that position, but because he gave his position away and he didn't really kill anybody, there was really no effect that he had when he tried to push in through garage. And that was also just really easily telegraphed by the fact that while one battalion did clear some utility over by servers using the forest drones to clear the Goyo canisters,
Attackers have
they
discovered the
never
location of a
clear
bomb.
the warden out of blue stairs. They never interact with the servers, so they
10
then
seconds
knew
left.
that okay, this is just going to be a back push with maybe somebody coming in the garage at the last second. And so Final Form just playing the patient game, playing their power
Attackers are
positions,
heading
playing the
out to defuse the
crossfires,
bomb.
effectively shut down that last minute push from Mormon Battalion.
And well done. Hopefully they'll be able to do the same thing this time around, be able to deny MB from making any sort of advances, any sort of aggression. We're going to be seeing open being played this time around. I believe last time they went upstairs, but unfortunately that bear no fruit for them. I hope that that's what I'm going to say. And so with that, first time around, we're going to be seeing this opening kitchen area being played for them. I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to hold it out because, as I said, upstairs they ended up losing. It wasn't too nice, and so we'll see if it's going to be any nicer as they are going to be playing a completely new site. Already an early pick coming off. Unfortunately, Ions, who got the first pick last round, and I believe it was onto Floss as well. Floss will get his get back as he takes down Ions the round immediately after.
Very interesting to when he's a DMR and he's just like, okay, I'm gonna try and like, I don't know, go through square when there's like 2 other people shooting at me. He dies and that's the warden gone. So now these flashbangs have a lot more effectiveness inside of the ground here for Final Form. Even a smoke grenade that can deny these long lines of sight that Final Form are trying to hold horizontally are going to be even more effective because the warden isn't here. Volsper does find a kill back. That's onto Toaster. Mormon Battalion now have an even man count with them because Final Form have decided to fight back. And again, they're just playing the patient game. They're waiting for Mormon Battalion to come to them, despite that early aggression that we saw from Ions over by Square.
See as we time starts to take down. Maybe this is just what they have to do. MB is going to have to get aggressive at some point. And with that, Sens is going to take down Elias. He is going to be the first person to try and get aggro. Unfortunately, will lose his life with that Siege. Is going to be watching a tight little angle. He is also going to be down to 5. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. But unfortunately, with a 2-man deficit, will he be able to close out this round? Unfortunately, Sens is just him with the Vector. Let him know. I believe that was a 4-piece. Well done. I guess he's got that game sense as well. And jeez Louise, let him cook. Final Form will finally tie it out 5-5. MB, we're so close to match point, but now Final Form are going to be neck and neck with them.
That time, Final Form again doing what they did really well in a basement round, playing really passive and
Defenders,
just waiting
protect
for
your
Mormon
bombs
Battalion to
from
come
being
to them. And
defused
Mormon
by
Battalion
attackers.
had the same issue in that last round, just like what happened to them on that basement round when they went for that lobby execute. Even though it wasn't always going to be the best of executes going through the hatches in a basement site on a back push, they didn't really coordinate it to do it at the same time. They all just did it one by one, giving up individual picks to Final Form. Again, they have heavy gunners, but they're also playing tighter together. They're holding crossfires. They know where you're coming from. And Mormon Battalion are just like not necessarily working together to ensure that their entry engagements work a lot more effectively. And now that we're tied up 5-5, Mormon Battalion have to kind of work around Final Form's improved teamwork and better patience that they've been exercising in the last 2 rounds.
We'll see. They are going to be going back upstairs, which wasn't the best when they came around here the first time around, but hopefully this time around it will be a little bit easier. Of course, we are going to have Mr. Evil Clouds playing. Oh my gosh, this is a cheeky little area. It says is a little bit of an office area, and he knows somebody's on the rappel. I'm sure he hears it. I wonder if they realize that he is there. They are going to see him, and unfortunately, he's going to get put in a bad spot. A hard place in a rock, I guess so. And of course, it's going to be none other than Exer to get the first pick. He's absolutely lethal on Zofia, but, oh my god, Sense is going to be able to bandit trick that wall. They're not going to be opening up that hallway wall just yet.
Good bandit trick as well to deny a very crucial angle, because if MORMON Battalion, especially with their main advantage, get that wall open, you cut off such a crucial rotation in between the sites, and you effectively have less to play in if you are the defense. Ions plays aggressively again over by Square. It looks like he wanted to go for a run out just outside of the CEO windows, and because they don't know that Togepi is that far forward, he gets punished for it. He lifelines that kill, and another player tries to challenge him, but they also fall back as well. Nobody else suffering any damage here from Final Form, but they are in a 5v3 or in favor of MORMON Battalion.
Oh my gosh, Ions just seems to be getting mad aggro now. He got that one kill off the hop, and now he's just mad aggro, putting himself in bad situations, or just finding himself in a bad situation. Of course, Final Form are going to be at the disadvantage. It's just about a minute remaining. It seems like Flaws might try to get cheeky with his teammate Exer over by top spiral. Kobe's going to find one, but Exer will find another. A 2 of H4. Final Form still are going to be at a disadvantage and make it a 3-man disadvantage. Damn, that was a beautiful kill, but unfortunately it doesn't matter. He'll get taken down by Flaws. Anyway, the Commando will unfortunately hit him right where it hurts, and the boys on MB are going to be at match point.
It looked like a lot of good information about OT.
Oh my gosh, did I DC from the Discord again?
No, you did it. I didn't expect you to talk. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
that's
I
okay.
thought it was me. No, Chaka, you know, bro, I'm having like crazy issues. I'm like, oh my god, please don't tell me I just like lagged out the entire.
Defenders protect.
But you think we're gonna sleep double OT 2 times now tonight, Mr. Chaka?
It depends on how well this basement site goes in favor of Final Form. You'd want to hope that MORMON Battalion like stick closer together as a team, and they go like a little bit faster, and also be more decisive in where they want to do their execute in, because last time it looked like they were angling towards server, but because they didn't have the Grim, they didn't really want to do a server take, but it seemed like they were doing it anyways, and then they just kind of like messed up their execute towards the hatches just by going in one by one and not really working together to sync up their hatch drop. So we could see that happen again, but it seemed like after that last round, MORMON Battalion did a very good job of getting information, figuring out where certain weak spots were for Final Form. They took Square pretty easily and cut off a lot of the aggression that Final Form were trying to enact on the windows of the CEO repel that MORMON Battalion were doing really, really good in. So as long as MORMON Battalion just keep up their information gathering while also ensuring that they're working better together, well, this round could be all but over, and this map could be done and dusted.
Well, not only that, but I'm interested that there isn't going to be a smoke being played downstairs. I mean, a smoke isn't that crazy not to have, but I mean, I feel like it's been utilized to nearly its fullest abilities, especially on a map like Bank when you are defending the basement. So we'll see how Final Form are going to be able to hold this out without having the smoke. Maybe they'll be able to do it. Maybe they needed the dock more than they needed a smoke, but Kobe playing by top blue, hoping to get a little bit lucky, and Flaws I'm sure is going to be a cheeky little booger coming in through none other than Garage.
Also doesn't seem there's anybody around the first floor, so in MORMON Battalion don't exactly know this, so information might not be of the best quality at the moment because nobody's in the map apart from Flaws, who has now made his way down into Garage, and he pushed himself so far up, bypassing any information that could be gathered here for Final Form just because of his ability as a Nook.
See how they will take a little bit of space. Of course, I'm sure that they are very aware that somebody is going to be in Garage. I'm sure they're prepping a bunch of yellow pings, but I mean, do we need 3 people watching this entire thing? Oh my god, Flaws will take down one, but instantly getting refragged. And so we're going to be at a 4v4. Luckily, it's only the Goyo off the board and not somebody like a Doc or a Warden, so it's not going to be too bad, but seems like they are going to be taken in through server and that blue area. Just under a minute remaining. We'll see if Final Form will take us to OT.
Dealing with some of the Goyo canisters as well. 50 seconds left in the dock, and they don't have as well, the smokes, like you highlighted earlier. So the only thing that they will have to depend on are the nitro cells. But the nitro cells might work perfectly here against MORMON Battalion because they do have the ultra plant. And of course, with the ultra, you want to try and get her inside. You want this to be your win condition to try and get a plant off. So they're gonna have to try and waste some of these nitro cells, shoot them out, or even just fully burn them from final form once they try and use them.
Oh yeah, this is looking extremely intense. 20 seconds remaining, and I'm trying to see what's gonna happen. We are still gonna have 2 C4s. One is gonna be off the board now, and so with that 10 seconds remaining, bomb is gonna start to get planted. A 3v3, and wow, that was extremely fast. I mean, let Eli cook. Of course he went through the garage. That is gonna be unfortunate, and not only that, but we will not be seeing 2 OT bank games today. MB says, we're not going OT. We're not like last game. We're gonna be a little bit different, and a little bit different is what they were. Well done that round. Eli played that great coming in through the garage, and just overall, MB played amazing, but valiant effort on final form for not losing too horribly. I think you said that their first previous game, it was absolutely brutal. So it's at least a little bit better to see that they didn't lose so fast this time around.
Yeah, especially because at times in their game against Outlast Black, they didn't really showcase any like pause and be getting over aggressive sometimes. And of course that happened on the bank, but it was a lot less consistent. So you can take that positive, knowing that you at least exercise some caution, you were working better together at like crucial points in the game. And because you worked together, because you were patient at times, that really did help you win a couple of the rounds to make this very close into going OT against MORMON Battalion. But I mean, again, MORMON Battalion just kind of like have good problem solving issues, especially in that last round where even though they lost garage control very early, they sent someone to do that on the backside. And again, and because they had the OSA, that applied a lot of pressure and gave a lot of attention to that execute over by server side, and no one was really able to keep a hold on garage, or nobody really couldn't do that.
And I feel like the lack of smoke, I don't think I saw Capcan do too much that entire game. I didn't really hear any traps go off either time that he was played, and I feel like it was wasted going down basement. I mean, there was no need for the Capcan. I'm sure that the smoke would have definitely been a lot better, despite them all dying from garage. I'm sure that the smoke would have definitely been able to push back the attackers a little bit more and kind of stop them from taking that last second plant. But regardless, everybody died out from garage, so that's gonna be unfortunate. But with that, of course, Boys on MB will win that out. And here is what the standings are looking at. MB gonna be in 3rd place.
Yep, I mean, to be fair to MB and also to Fluffy Aimers, who are now in 4th place, Fluffy Aimers have only played 1 game, and so they only have 3 points on a record. Of course, in the next few play days, they will have more opportunities to play more games to get more points on the board. And I would expect them to be in a 3rd place spot, but for now, this is a really good win for MORMON Battalion to get 4 games played, 6 points. Really good stuff, and they're now sitting in a 3rd place spot with also like a pretty solid round difference. Even if it is in the negatives, that's better than like Carnico over in Group B. So Carnico are like former Element runners, and they were a team in Element 3 who played in the group stage matches. So good job on MORMON Battalion. And you know what? Because of that loss for Final Form, they've dropped all the way down, or because of the 2 losses they've had today, they've dropped all the way down into 6th place. They're threatened with being eliminated from the whole tournament, and they probably just before playoffs even start.
Ooh, that is not looking too good. Hopefully Final Form will be able to change their form and play better. Looking at the group standing on B, the Unks, who we... What did I say? Did I say Group B?
Yeah, you said Group B.
Oh, see, we got Unks that we did end up casting today. They're on the top, not doing too shabby, if I do say so myself. As well as Chalkit, 3rd place.
Yep, because they won against the Unks just in the game previous. They got 2 points, and they put themselves in 3rd. But to be fair, I mean, you look at anything other than 1st and 2nd, this whole group is competitive. And because the Unks actually did get a point in their last game, since it was an OT loss, they sit at the top of the group. They have played more games than Thrive, But again, you would take that, especially because given everyone's expectations coming into this season of Xenon, you look at the teams that we have. We have Thrive, who have looked amazing so far in Xenon. You have Wildcard Aces, Card & Co, Aerial Rise, Element teams in Group A as well, and Fluffy Aimers, SSG ACAD, and Makers. The Youngs have played absolutely amazing this whole entire season, so to see them in first place is actually just like a breath of fresh air. That means that Arcena is improving, that means that T3 is improving, and that T2 isn't, and that these T2 teams aren't as stable in their positions as they probably would have been like a couple of months ago. So really good stuff today from a lot of the teams who we don't usually see that much of because they're not as popular, but it's nice to see them perform really well in XGS.
They got like the tech, man. They got all the secret codes. Sometimes there's just like players and teams that you're just not aware of because they don't end up getting the spotlight so often. They just end up creeping in from behind and just taking the stage beautifully. But congratulations to MB for winning that out. And Final Form, I mean, they didn't lose too badly. They did lose, but definitely it wasn't nearly as bad as previously. So congratulations to them, as well as the previous game that we did end up casting on Bank Chalk. It ended up stopping the Unks' win streak. So that was exciting.
Yep, but that is going to be the end for us. That is going to be the end of the stream for XGS. We will not have any more games over the weekend. Instead, it will start off just like how it started this week, which was on Monday. So we will have a couple of more best of ones for you for our next 4 playdays here for XGS Season 7. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. You guys have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.